I was 18, I hated my life. I was fat. I had the constant habits of shirt pulling, stomach sucking, and feeling very awkward when taking family photos. When I look at that photo of myself, I always tell myself, "You're ugly. You're fat." I had a horrible life to live. But I looked at myself in the mirror and one day I told myself I needed to make a change. I was tired of living my life day to day, feeling like a side character, feeling like I had no purpose to do anything, and that was okay. I had a relationship of 3 years and then it broke up. I was there alone, sad, lonely, fat. But that's where one thing happened. That is one thing while I was scrolling on social media, it changed my life. It was a guy on a press machine working out with the color purple. And as I entered the weightlifting, my life changed forever. I was able to build a physique that I never knew I was able to achieve. So this is anyone who's actually been overweight and hates their life right now and wants to take it out as fast as possible. This video is for you because you may not even know. I've been through the habits of military diets, green drink detox, restricting calories to like 1,500. And I'm telling you this right now. These are the things that need to be able to alternate your reality for you to be able to lose weight faster. So first things first is that you're going to be able to have to change your mindset. Right now you're fat. And just to be brutal truth, raise your hand right now and say you are fat. Because people out there in the world are in denial. People out there in the world are stuck and sensitive and that need to stay in their little shell. They've been coping where they say that fat shaming isn't good. I'm not fat shaming anybody. Because life feels a lot better without having all that fat on you. Life is amazing. But understand that there's people out there in the world that like to stay in their comfort level. They're viewing themselves on a part of a community that doesn't shame fat people. Where they're saying they're okay with their weight. You don't have to lose the fat. Who are you trying to prove? But if you're not a pussy and actually want to change something in your life, you're willing to take the sacrifice to eliminate all that fat. Because if you're fat, people change your reality towards you. People change your reaction. People will bully you. People will disrespect you. And that is a life that is terrible to have. If you're obese or fat, you suffer from a mental illness. You are essentially sick. And that is not a good way to live life. So this is where you need to be altering your reality, changing your mindsets that it's possible to change the weight. You look through all the things and constantly get failing. That is a part of success. When I started my weight loss journey, it took me almost 3 years to actually get to the physique that I want. I was fat back when I was 16. I was getting bigger and bigger, trying to eliminate the fat. And I did when I first started. It wasn't successful as that. I gained it all back again. It was a constant cycle of losing the weight, gaining it all back. Losing the weight and gaining it all back. And then when I got really big at 205, this is where I needed to make the change. This is where I needed to know how to eliminate the fat and keep it off me. And I had to change so much of my mind to completely do this. And this is what I'm going to tell you. You need to tell yourself that you are an athlete. You need to start acting like an athlete. Athletes don't eat shit food. They don't go out there and go to go meal. They don't go out there and eat pastries. They don't go out there and eat out a lot. They eat what real people eat. Single and basic ingredients. They train. They eat high amounts of protein to help them function for tomorrow. They check their weight. They do cardio. You right now are fat. So you need to start deluding yourself that you are an athlete. They don't eat for pleasure. They eat for nutrients. They don't go out there and drink a Pepsi because they feel like it. They don't view their life when eating food for pleasurable. It's not that. You are doing actions of what fat people do. You are thinking what fat people think because you have simply labeled yourself as fat. Understand that athletes, the fit guys, had the same concept as you. They thought differently and now their whole different mind is completely different. You, to compare to an athletic guy, you guys have two different mindsets on food, on exercise, and on sleep. So I'm telling you this right now, you need to delude yourself that you're an athlete. Because once you start deluding yourself as an athlete, you right now are going to have the answers of what an athlete does. Tell yourself, what does an athlete do? And if this is way more difficult to understand, find your favorite fitness influencer. A body that you want to achieve. Mine is Greg Plitt, and his mind and his body is something that I want to work towards. This is something that's going to help you alter your mind to have essentially his mindset adapt to yours. And when you have his mindset, you'll be able to make choices that are accumulating for the athletic person. You may believe that the weight loss is not possible. You might be doomed that you think you're going to be fat forever for the rest of your life. But I'm telling you this, it's just a limited belief that you have in your mind. In January 2024, I was 205. But it took me 6 months. 6 months to lose all that fat, to become 150 and became lean and athletic. You have all these limited beliefs because you've constantly failed multiple times on things that you've tried. And you think it's impossible. And you think you're doomed to be fat forever. It's not. Failing those constant moments are learning lessons that your body can't really accumulate. But once you try to view yourself and keep believing yourself that you're an athlete and keep believing that you're going to be able to achieve that body, you will have the power to keep going for the rest of your life to be able to change your physique. Another thing is that you're going to have to start eating more meat and have a high fat meals. Me and you are Hispanic. I need to tell you this right now. What's the most thing that your family mostly eat every day on the weekends, right? This is typically pan dulce. But yet you feel bloated, yet you feel tired, yet you feel no energized. Understand that when you feel bloated, it's actually an allergic reaction to your gut microbiome telling you that it can't digest this food. And when insulin is spiked, which is what makes it bloated, insulin pretty much signals your body that it's going to save it for a rainy day. Save it for days during hard times. Like the moments the foods that are spiking your insulin, that bloatness that you're feeling constantly, understand that it's a symptom of bad microbiome foods that you can't eat. It's an allergic reaction. And when it's bloated, you're spiking your insulin level. And when insulin is spiked, you are just gaining nothing but fat because it enters into storage mode. But here's the thing. You look on social media and you see the people that say don't eat carbs. And then you see other people, they eat carbs and say, oh, it's one of the best macronutrients. Understand that those people are carb adaptive. I'm telling you this right now, me and you, if you've already tried the carb path where you just ate carbs and protein and yet you still gain weight, this is because you're actually fat adapted. This is where you need to be eating way more fat and proteins. This is where you need to be eating like nuts, raw cheese, full fat Greek yogurt, butter, eggs, steak, ground beef, all the proteins that you want with skin in it, with fat in it. Because I've actually lost the most amount of fat when I started eating a lot of fat and protein. Eat a lot more fat and protein. Eat more nuts, eat more ground beef, eat more eggs. This is where something that's going to help you be able to not feel hungry from all the foods that you're constantly eating, and you still feel hungry after that. And honestly, the best thing about this is that you won't feel bloated. You feel like you didn't even eat anything at all, but you feel full. But you don't feel bloated. And you don't need to eat more food after that. And it was so crazy that you could go out for another run and you won't feel bad. And I've actually tested this thing where I ate a bunch of meat, eggs, and nuts. 15 minutes later, I'm on a Stairmaster for an hour. And I felt perfectly fine. So you need to be eating more fat, more meat. You may have heard of this thing where vegetables are bad. There's always a war between meats and vegetables. But understand that you don't have to pick a side. You could actually be both. And once I actually incorporated vegetables, life has felt a lot better. So make sure they're dark green vegetables, because there's a lot of fiber in them. It's going to help your gut microbiome to work properly. Next is going to be weightlifting. Running isn't going to get you to lose weight effectively. You're just going to develop a physique, which is a skinny fat physique, or just have loose skin. Congratulations on losing the fat, but now you look like every other average Hispanic out there in the world. When you start incorporating resistance training, you start to build a physique that you want to achieve. You start looking at things that are what's possible. Not only when resistance training is going to be in a part of your life, it starts consuming your lifestyle. It starts to push you into the right direction of healthy eating. But the thing is that you need to be fat adapted. That being said, you're going to be having to eat more fats and proteins. But you're going to see people out there in the world in the gym memberships that are eating carbs and protein because that's what they are. They're adapted to that. But you are not. You're fat adapted. Weightlifting is about discovering who you are, discovering what you like, discovering what works best for you. There are people out there in the world who are carb adapted. There are people out there in the world who like low reps, high weights. There are people out there with low weight, high reps. People like CrossFit, calisthenics, weightlifting. They like doing compound lifts instead of isolating lifts. They like doing machines instead of barbells. When entering weightlifting, you start to discover what you like to have. You start picking up weights and you start seeing how they feel. And then they become long best friends. Because it's a weight that you like to have, and it's a weight that you could use for the rest of your life. And as years pass by, you develop a physique that you finally can achieve. You have everything there that you need to have for weight loss. You have everything there for you to build a physique that you like to have. It's not putting on your shoes and running down your street for 1 mile. It's not that. And then you get into the gym culture where you're able to take the supplements, the pre-workout, build friends that are lifelong, learn from other people who've been more in the health aspect of things. You will change your whole life if you accumulate weightlifting into your life. Next is going to be sleeping more. You right now probably neglect sleep. You probably sleep around 2 a.m., 1 a.m., 12 a.m. You're staying up playing video games with your friends. You're either staying up watching a movie with your girlfriend, or you're probably scrolling through your phone in the middle of the night. Understand that these are horrible habits to get into when you're trying to sleep. When it's 9 p.m., you should sleep. Because I'm telling you this right now, you are probably sleep deprived. And when sleep deprived is happening, this is the worst of the worst that happens. Mental health issues increase. Depression, anxiety, stress, all of those are going to be 10 times worse throughout your day. Understanding that sleep is something that's very crucial for your body. It is trying to replenish the energies that you've depleted from today for tomorrow. So it's going to use all the body that you have, all the fat that you have, all the food that you've actually ate. It's going to be able to replenish, tear muscles, use the fat loss to give you the energy for tomorrow. When you're neglecting sleep, you're pretty much putting yourself on 1%. You're living your life truly not capable of it functioning. You should always accumulate 8 to 9 hours of sleep daily because this is going to be able to help you, 1, lose a lot of fat. You might be thinking that exercising is a crucial factor of weight loss. It's not. It's as little as 10% on the whole weight loss journey. Majority is your diet and sleeping. So really, do not neglect sleep at all. And if you want to lose weight faster, check out my course down below where I can simply streamline how to lose weight completely fast, where all you have to do is just view it all and you have completely skyrocketed your information on weight loss and be able to change your whole life completely. It took me 3 years to learn how to do all this stuff. And I want that for you to be able to achieve something that you know that you probably never knew you could achieve. So go put down that fork and go lift some weights, brother. And I'll see you soon.